This is the Youth Soccer Revolution podcast, episode number 3. Hello again and welcome to the Youth Soccer Revolution podcast. My name is Ernesto Diaz. Today we're going to be talking with Jose Pepe Perez. Jose currently plays for the Lake Michigan College soccer team. I wanted to bring Pepe on because he's a unique player, and that although he grew up in the United States, he did play recreational soccer, but other than that, he never had the opportunity to play travel soccer or practice with a club. His development was mostly free play, which is what we discussed in session 1 and 2. Pepe is a perfect example of the power of free play, and it definitely demonstrates how it has an impact on the creativity of any player. One of the reasons I wanted to bring him on is because of this unique experience that he had. Now, I don't want to undervalue the importance of club soccer, as club soccer does play an important role in developing youth soccer. You'll hear in the interview that Pepe even admits that if he had to go back, that he would have played club soccer. And I think this is important, and I have to agree with him. I think that if he played club soccer, he would have been better prepared to play in college. As parents and coaches, we have to understand the free play and deliberate practice model. We want to maximize free play at a very young age and slowly increase deliberate practice as the kids get older. So before we get into the interview, I just want to remind you that you can find all the show notes at youthsoccerrevolution.com. And if you like the show, please head on over to iTunes or Stitcher Radio and give us a review. Today I'm going to talk with Pepe Perez. Pepe, we first want to start out, we want to get to know you a little bit and where you come from and how you got started playing soccer. So if you could give us a little overview, how you got started playing and a little bit about yourself.
I'm Pepe, and my full name is Jose Antonio Perez, but everybody calls me Pepe. And I've been playing since I was 10 or 11. Been around my family a lot. My parents are from Mexico. Ever since I was a kid, just on TV, watching it. I grew up with it, and it's been in my life ever since. Currently, I'm playing at Lake Michigan College. This will be my second year this fall.
All right, Pepe, you told us a little bit about yourself and how you got started playing. You said you were about 10 years old. It was all around your family, so it was kind of one of those things where it just kind of you fell into it, right? I mean, everybody else was playing it. Everywhere you saw, your brothers were playing it. Your dad was playing it. It was kind of part of the family, so you kind of just started playing as well. Did you say you started playing with ASO first?
Yeah. I was like 12 when I started playing ASO, but I mean, before that, when I was 10 or 11, I was just pick-up games just with my friends all through high school. I've played ASO, no travel team or anything, but just recreational until now that I'm playing college.
Is it something you never got into because you didn't want to, or what was the reason you never played any travel soccer?
It's because I really never had the opportunity to do it. I mean, I think it has to do a lot with my family.
And then, that's pretty interesting that you were able to play college soccer, which is very competitive, and you're not just there on the bench right now in college. You are actually a starter on the college team.
Right, yes, I'm a starter.
Yeah, that's really interesting that you went from, playing recreational soccer, never played in any club. You did play some high school, am I right?
Yeah, that's right.
And what year did you start playing high school?
It was fall 2007. It was my senior year, and
you were able to play college soccer again. And a player that contributes to the team, and yet you played 1 year of high school soccer, and then you started playing recreational pretty late as well. I mean, at 11, 12 years old, even for recreational, that's older than most kids start. So you had a lot of obstacles to overcome to get to where you are. But we're also going to be able to take what you did to get to that position, hopefully today with this interview. So I appreciate you sharing all that with us.
Okay, yeah, no problem.
So let's take it a little bit back, if you can remember. What made you fall in love with soccer? Why was it that you were playing soccer instead of other sports?
Like I said before, it's just always been in my family. When my dad started playing, he played with my uncles, and we as a family we would go watch him, and just got used to it, and you just fall in love with it. And after you play it, it's true, AYSO was not very competitive, but I mean.
But you must have saw something positive in soccer that made you want to play, and that was probably the competitiveness that you desired in your life. That's where you could find it, and that's why you went after it.
Right, yeah. That's exactly right.
Good. So I think we kind of touched on this already, but I still wanted to ask you, who had the biggest influence on you playing soccer?
I would say my dad, because like I said, he's the one that's always been there. He goes to my games whenever he can, and whenever he can, like I said, he tells me, give it the best you got, and just leave it out there. And I just kind of followed his steps throughout. Like, he played, so I mean, now I play, and hopefully one day my son plays. And
if you can remember, how often did you play outside of, I guess, formal training from your ASO team? How often was it that you played in your backyard or at school or anywhere else without a coach there training?
When I was in, middle school, high school, literally we used to play every day. After school, just pick up games with my friends.
You loved soccer, so it was no problem for you, and it sounds like it wasn't that your parents were taking you to practice. It was just kind of, school's out, what are we going to do today? Let's get together with friends, and let's go play some soccer. And
because it was also indoor. I mean, in the gym, like for 6 months, whenever you couldn't play outside, then we would go inside.
Okay, so I mean, it was basically year-round then that you played.
Right, yeah, that's what I meant.
Okay. Well, that's good. Like I said, you played all the time, and I think that definitely helped you. What do you think? Do you think that was a big influence on why you were able to play at a high level?
Yeah, I think that has a lot to do because, like I said, you just need to be out there, and the more you're familiar with the ball and with the game, that's just the better you're going to be off.
Yeah, and let's move on to specialization. There's a big debate on whether kids should play only one sport or whether they should be allowed to play other sports. Did you specialize in only soccer, or did you play other sports, and how long?
Before high school, it was only soccer because all of my friends just did that sport. As soon as I got into high school, I started doing track, cross country. I did football my last year also. If I had the chance, I would play even more sports.
I think we talked about this earlier as well. Did you watch soccer on television?
Yeah, I mean, ever since I can remember as a kid, we used to watch Mexican soccer. That's what my dad used to watch, so we had to kind of tag along. And I've watched soccer since I can remember, and then as I grew up, I just watched all kinds of sports, but mostly English Premier, just better soccer.
Yeah. I mean, so it sounds like you said earlier your dad influenced you a lot in playing soccer, but he also influenced in how involved you were, because the next thing I wanted to get into, Pepe, was trying to get a little bit more information about your experience. So, with athletes, we experience highs and lows, and oftentimes we reach a point when we may doubt ourselves. Can you tell us about a time when you felt at your lowest point as a player, when you thought you may give up playing soccer, or thought that maybe you were not a good player?
In high school, when I just felt like I could have done way more. And once my year was over, like, I thought to myself, what was the point of this? If this was just club, nobody's going to see me. I'm not going to get known. At that point, I felt like high school is really where colleges see you. So I'm not going to have a chance in college. I never thought I was going to play in college, so I think that was my lowest point. And because, like I said, when the season was over, like nobody said, hey, we're interested in you playing. Just the season was over, and I was kind of expecting more. Like nothing happened. I didn't get any offers or anything, so I just thought to myself, what was the point of this? I just played a year, but I thought I was going to go further, but I mean, I did, but not at that point.
Yeah, so I can see why you felt, or how you might have felt at that time. Yeah, so you thought the year was over, and or at least your playing career was over at that high level. And then when did you realize that you had another opportunity to play college?
Like when I graduated high school, I didn't think of playing soccer, and so I went to Lake Michigan College, and I didn't play there because they had a club, and I wanted more competition. I left soccer. I left competitive soccer for a bit because I didn't think I was going to see it again. So I went to Kalamazoo Valley just to get a degree. Past February of 2013, not 2014, I heard that Lake Michigan College was having tryouts for a real team. So I was like, this is my chance. I'm going to give it a shot. And I did, and I got accepted to the team. So
and the rest is history. Yeah. So you kept working then in order to be able to make it to that team. I mean, you didn't just quit when you said you didn't play anymore. You didn't just kind of hang up the shoes. You continued playing, trying to get better.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the playing was still there. Just the thought of like playing in still like a competition or a big school right away after high school wasn't there anymore. But I mean, the desire was there. It was just kind of hidden. I mean, I kept playing, and I never lost. I don't think I never lost the spark. I mean, that I used to have about soccer and the love and.
Yeah, so I think the lesson there, Pepe, is be ready when the opportunity presents itself. If you would have just stopped playing altogether, I mean, you would have never realized your dream of playing in college. You would have just said, forget it, it's over. But you kept playing, you kept training, you kept getting better. And then once the opportunity was there, you said Lake Michigan College started their varsity program. You went out to the tryouts and you made the team, and you're a starter for a reason. It's because you never stopped working. You continued getting better and better.
I think if I would have to give an advice to younger players, it's exactly what you said. I mean, the opportunities are going to come. You just got to be ready for them. And, I mean, sooner or later they're going to get there. It just depends on whether you're ready or not.
So let's move on now to the next question. And as I mentioned earlier, we talked about the highs and lows of a career. You have this success, and you'll have your difficult times. And we just discussed about a difficult time in your young career. Can you tell us now about a time when you felt really successful and you felt that your hard work had paid off?
I would say when I started playing college, I mean, ever since I was in high school and a kid, like I said, I always wanted to be in the top level. When I got into the team, I mean, it's just it was just happiness, That's why I felt really successful.
Yeah, and take us a little deeper, Pepe. Like, at what moment was it? Was it when you signed your letter of intent? Was it when you stepped on the field? Was it when you got your first goal, your first start? At what point do you point to and say that was the defining moment? That's when I felt really successful.
My first travel game that weekend, it was like a tournament, and I brought home a MVP of the tournament and an all tournament team. I think that's where I realized, and I think that's where I really felt most successful during my career so far.
Yeah, and I can see that why you would feel that way. I mean, I think any player that reaches that level would feel that way. You get to come home as being one of the best players from that tournament, the MVP. So
Right, yeah.
And that takes us to the next question, Pepe. What is one thing you are doing right now that is helping you develop as a player?
The training that I'm getting from college or from my college, I think that's key. I'm being more developed. Like you mentioned before, I mean, players just don't stop learning more. There's never an age where you can't learn. Right now, we train every week, 2 or 3 days a week, and every practice is different. I think that's really helping me be more dynamic in the field and just having a different view about soccer and getting more developed and growing more. And I look forward to practices because you grow each week, and the more you practice it. And
Pepe, we'll transition now to we want to learn from your experience, and we want to know what you would do in terms of player development to help us as parents or coaches help our children play and develop into a good soccer player. Let's pretend that you have a 5-year-old son today. He's 5 years old. He wants to start playing soccer. What would you do to help him develop into a soccer player?
I would have him in a travel team for sure. I would go to his games, support him, make him be active, just be with the ball as much as you can, and also play with him. Like, even if when he doesn't have practice, I would be outside kicking with him. I mean, I love the game, and I'm sure if he plays it with me like I did it with my dad, he's gonna love the game as me. And just be around the game. I mean,
yeah. So I think you're kind of taking your. I was going to say, I think you're kind of taking your template. What you did was, you were around the game. Your dad played with you guys. You were around watching him. So that's kind of like what you would present to your son.
Yeah, just the biggest change is that I would probably put my kid in a travel team.
Can you give us one piece of guidance for players or parents who want to maximize their soccer development, or to players or coaches? What's one thing that you would want people to know about player development?
I'd say the time you spend around the game, if it's around you, basically if it's all over your world, even if you just watch it on TV, see other games, but mostly be involved in the game.
Yeah, when they say that you are the average of the 5 people that you hang around with the most, if your friends are playing soccer and your parents play soccer and your sister plays soccer and and they watch soccer, you're probably going to end up playing soccer at some point, right? So just kind of give them that world of soccer where they can kind of get into it as well, but not necessarily force it on them, telling them you have to play, you don't have a choice. That's probably not going to work out.
Right, yeah. I mean, my dad never went like, oh, you have to play this. If it's around you, I think it's just going to come automatic. You're the one that's going to want to play. Nobody's going to force you. You're the one that's going to be looking for it.
Yeah, I agree. We look forward to watching you continuing to develop. You never know how high you could reach, if you just continue working hard.
Yep, I agree.
So yeah, thank you again, and good luck to you, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, no problem.
I want to thank Pepe for coming on and sharing his insight and journey with us. Just want to remind you that if you have any questions, any feedback about the show, you can email me at Ernesto, ERNESTO, at youthsoccerevolution.com. Tune in next week for episode 4.